Hey guys, it's Jolly, and today I'm washing windows, getting these windows all cleaned up so we can come in this room and be able to look out on our farm and check on our animals. Sometimes we've peeked out the windows and we've had chickens running loose that aren't supposed to be loose. Sometimes we've looked out and we've had goats just wandering down the path. We got to be able to check on them, make sure they're not going to get out and get hurt or get lost. These windows help us do that. Did you know that they talk about windows in the Bible some? Our story today is going to have a little bit to do about windows and about somebody who got in big trouble because people were watching him through his windows. His name is Daniel.
Daniel and the Lion's Den. Daniel was a man who loved God. He always tried to make choices that pleased God. Daniel lived in a place called Babylon, and the kings of Babylon didn't love God. They didn't care about doing the right thing, but they liked Daniel. Because Daniel was always trying to please God, he was always doing his very best. Daniel was a great help to the kings of Babylon, and they always gave him very important jobs. Even when Babylon would get a new king, the new king would see that Daniel was a good man and give him the most important jobs. Once there was a king named Darius. Darius liked Daniel and made him one of his 3 most important helpers. The other men were jealous of Daniel. They didn't understand what was so special about him. They got together and came up with a plan to get Daniel in trouble. If Daniel got in trouble, the king would have to remove him from his job. They watched Daniel very carefully, hoping to catch him breaking the law, but he never did. So they come up with a secret plan. They knew how important it was to Daniel to please God, so they decided to trick the king into making a law that would be against God. They told the king he should make a rule that everyone had to pray to only him for 30 days. If someone broke that rule, they would be thrown into the lion's den. The king didn't think about Daniel and how much Daniel loved God. He liked this new rule because it made him feel more important. So he agreed and signed all the papers for the new law. Daniel heard about the new law, but it wasn't going to make him do anything against God, and praying to anyone other than God is wrong. So 3 times every day, just as he had always done, Daniel went into his house to pray and give thanks to God. The bad men were always watching Daniel. They saw him through his open windows of his house. They saw him praying to God, and they knew their plan had worked. They went straight to the king and told him what Daniel had done. This made the king very upset. He loved Daniel. Daniel was important to him. He didn't want to throw Daniel in the lion's den, but there was nothing he could do. It was too late for him to change the rule, and Daniel had to be punished. He was going to have to be thrown in with the lions. Just before they threw Daniel into the lion's den, the king told Daniel, "Thy God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee." That meant the king believed Daniel's God would save him from the lions. Then the king went back to his palace. He was so worried about Daniel that he fasted all night. He didn't eat. He didn't listen to music. He didn't even sleep. The next morning, the king ran to the lion's den to check on Daniel. Daniel was okay. Daniel told King Darius that God sent an angel to close the mouths of the lions. King Darius had Daniel pulled out of the den, and he told everyone that Daniel's God was the one true God. Then King Darius had all the bad men and their families thrown into the lion's den for the bad things they had done. The lions had a big supper that night.
Hey guys, are you all ready to do activity number 1? Today's activity looks a little bit different. We're not going to match things up today. We're going to do a maze. But here, before we start, I'm going to read the directions. God sent an angel to close the mouths of the lions while Daniel was in the lion's den. In the maze below, help the angel get to the lion's den. Okay guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to help this angel find his way down to Daniel in the lion's den. We're going to have to work our way through the maze. So we're going to start here at the angel. And we're going to come down. Do we need to go this way? Let's see. If we come down this way, is it going to lead us to Daniel in the lion's den? No. So we're going to have to keep going. Keep going, keep going. Okay, now do we need to go up? Let's see. No. No. So we're going to keep going. Okay, now are we going to go up or down? Up? That's not going to lead us anywhere, is it? No way. So we're going to go down, 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 down. There we go. We made our way through the maze. Good job, guys. Okay, guys, it's time to do our math activity for the day. We've got our big number 3 here in the middle of the page. Let's see what we need to do with this big number 3. I'm going to read the directions. Daniel prayed to God 3 times a day. Trace the number 3 below, then circle the items that are in groups of 3. So first of all, we're going to start by tracing our number 3. When we do the number 3, we start at the top, and we're going to go around, up, and then go back around, and there we go. That is our number 3. Now we're going to count our items and see which group of things is in a group of 3. First of all, we're going to start with our hearts. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is 4 the same as 3? No, we can't circle those hearts. So let's go to the stars. 1, 2, 3. 3 is 3. So we do get to circle this one. Circle, circle, circle. Yay! Okay, let's see. What do we have over here? Let's start with the corn. We have cans of corn down here. Let's count these together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is way more than 3, so we cannot circle our corn. No way. Okay, moving up to the flowers. How many flowers do we have here? 1, 2. That's not quite 3. We can't circle our flowers either. Let's check out the crayons on the top. 1, 2, 3. We can circle our crayons. Yay! 1, 2, 3 crayons. All right, now let's move down to our memory verse for the day. Thy God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. Daniel 6:16. Do we remember who said that? Somebody in our story said that verse. Who said that? I believe it was King Darius said that when Daniel was about to go in with the lions. This is what the king said to Daniel because he knew God would save him. Okay, let's see what we're looking for in this verse. We're looking for the letter D. We have our big D and our little d. Now let's go back through our verse and see if we can find it. We might find a big D, we might find a little d. We just don't know. Let's check it out. Thy God. I found a D. Did you find a D? It's right here in the last letter of God. Here we go. Thy God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver. Did you catch it? Did you see it? I see it. It's right there. There is that little letter D. Circle, circle, circle. Okay, now try it again. Thy God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. Daniel. Oh, I found a D. Did you find the D in Daniel? It's different. It's not a little d like this one. It's a big D. It's a capital D. D for Daniel. Yay. Okay. Thy God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. Daniel 6:16. All right. We found some small D's and a big D. That was so great that it had both in there. I don't think we've had that happen before. Great job, guys. Great job finding your D's. Hey guys, we're on activity number 3. It's time for us to learn our big word of the day. Our big word today is fasting. When you hear the word fasting, it kind of makes you think of the word fast, like you run fast or the car goes fast. But this kind of fasting has nothing to do with your speed. Let's see what it means. It means to give up something for a short time so you can focus on praying and serving God. Wow, that's nothing to do with speed, is it? That's very different. In our story, the king fasted. He gave up food and sleep and music when Daniel was in the lion's den. Do you remember that part? He was hoping that God would take care of him, and that he was so focused that he didn't even eat or sleep or listen to music that tried to cheer him up. He was fasting. They talk about fasting a lot in the Bible, and sometimes people still fast today when they really want to focus on praying and serving God. All right, let's do our guessing game for the day and see if you can guess who I'm talking about. I lived in Babylon. I had a very important job. I prayed 3 times every day, even when it was against the law. I was thrown in the lion's den. Who are we talking about there? Do you all remember from our story? Was it the king? Was it Darius? It wasn't Darius. It was Daniel. If you guessed Daniel, great job. Way to pay attention. Way to be a great listener. Good job, guys. Okay, now we're going to move on to our drawing over here. What are we going to draw today? Let's read the directions and see what we're going to draw. Daniel prayed with his windows open. In the space below, draw a window. You can decide if it is open or closed. Do you remember in our story when Daniel prayed and the bad guys saw him praying through his window because his windows were open? They did. They saw him. So now we're going to draw a window. Okay, to start my window, you can draw whatever kind of window you want because they come in all different shapes and sizes. But when I draw a window, I like to draw a square. A square is like a box, and all the sides are the same. 1, 2, 3, 4 sides on my square. Does that look like a window? Not yet. It doesn't quite look like a window yet. So we're going to add the middle part of the window. We're going to go down, 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 and then we're going to go across. All right, is that starting to look like a window? Maybe a little bit more like a window. Okay, to make mine look like a window, I'm going to draw some curtains. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to swoop down like this, and then I'm going to swoop down like this. And then I'm going to do it on the other side too. Swoop down like this and swoop down like this. Okay, I'm going to color in my curtains. You don't have to draw your window like I'm drawing my window. You can draw any kind of window you want to draw because they're all different. You can even draw your window where it's open. Or if you wanted to draw it so that you could see outside, like maybe see the sunshine or the grass or a tree or something out your window, you could draw whatever you wanted to. Let's see, guys. Is that starting to look like a window? Maybe a little bit. I hope you all enjoyed drawing. I sure did. Good job, guys. Okay, guys, it's time to talk about our letter of the day. Today's letter is the letter D. This is our capital D. This is our lowercase d. The letter D makes the sound D, 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 like in Daniel and den. Daniel and the lion's den. Did you hear the D, D sound when I said those words? Today we're going to learn how to write the letter D. Okay, we're going to write it. I'm going to write it on my fence first, and then we'll start to practice it over here. But before we do, let me tell you about my fence again. What I like to do is I like to pretend this picture when I'm writing on these lines because it helps me know exactly where to put all of my lines. Okay, this line right here, this is what I call the ground, and that kind of matches this line right here. This line right here is what I call the fence, and that matches the dotted line right here in the middle. This line up here is what I call the sky, and that matches the top line up there. If we remember the sky and the fence and the ground, that's going to help us know where to put all the things in the letter D. Today we're not going to use the flowers or the roots or the cloud, but we will use the sky and the fence and the ground. Okay, to get started, we're going to start at the top up here at the sky. And we're going to go down, 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 down to the ground. Then we're going to go back to the sky and we're going to make a huge, big monster bump that goes all the way from the sky to the ground. And that is how you make your big D. To make your little D, we're gonna stay under the fence for part of it, and we're gonna go all the way to the sky for part of it. So we're gonna start with our circle, and it's gonna stay under the fence. And touch the ground and come back up to make our circle. Okay, and then we're gonna go all the way up here to the sky and go down, 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 all the way to the ground. And that is how we make our little D. Okay guys, we're gonna move on over here and we're gonna practice these Ds. We're on the top line, we're gonna make our big D. So we're gonna have to pretend when we look at this, because there's no fence here, there's no clouds, there's no flowers. So we have to use our imagination to remember those things. So we're gonna start up here at the sky and go down to the ground and then go back to the sky and make that huge bump. Do you remember the big bump? There we go, there's our D. Now let's do another one. From the sky to the ground, and then the huge bump. One more time. From the sky to the ground, and then a huge bump. There we go, 3 Ds. D, D, D. Great job. Now we're gonna move on to make our little Ds. Our little D, remember, it starts with a circle under the fence. So we're gonna make our circle under the fence. There you go. Did you all make a circle under the fence? Next step is the stick. We're gonna start at the sky and come down, touch the side of the circle, and go to the ground. Ta-da! We made our little letter D. Let's make another one. Circle under the fence, and go to the sky, and down, 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 touch the circle, stop at the ground. There we go, there's another D. One more last D, we got this. Come on guys, we can do this. One more circle under the fence, and then go to the sky, and down, 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 touch the circle, stop at the line. 3 big Ds, 3 little Ds. There we go. Now we've got our line down here, and we're going to do our extra practice word of the day. Today, our extra practice word is going to be Daniel. D is for Daniel, like in our story. Because Daniel is a name, it's going to start with a big letter. So we have to make a big D to start Daniel. We're going to start at the sky and go down, down, down to the ground. And then we're going to make a big bump. Okay, the next letter in the word Daniel is a little letter A. Do you remember how we made the little letter A? I'll remind you. Let's see if we can do this together. It's a circle under the fence, and then it's a straight line, but the straight line doesn't start at the sky, it starts at the fence. And goes down, down, down. Here's our little letter A. The next letter is an N. We've made a few of those, even though it still hasn't been our letter of the day. So maybe you remember how to do that, but I'm going to walk you through it. We're going to start at the fence, and we're going to go down to the ground. Then we're going to come back up, and we're going to do a hump. Just one hump. The next letter is the letter I. We've done several of those too, I think. We're going to start at the fence and go down to the ground. And then we put our dot in the cloud. Okay, the next letter is the little letter E. We've not made one of those before, and it is a little tricky. We're gonna practice that one on a different day, but I will show you how to do it, so maybe you can get a little head start on that letter. Okay, to do that, we're gonna start like in the flowers. We're gonna go over here and we're gonna make a straight line, and then we're gonna swirl around like this. There we go. That one's a little bit tricky. We'll practice that more on a different day. And the last letter in Daniel is a little letter L, and it's going to start at the sky and go all the way to the ground. There we go, guys. We wrote the word Daniel. Great job.
Hey guys, it's me again. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson all about Daniel and the lion's den. That was so brave of Daniel to keep praying and keep doing the right thing, even though it meant he might get in big trouble. And God sure protected him then. I hope God protects us more than we even know that he does. But we got to always do the right thing, even when it's a little bit scary to do that. I hope you all enjoyed the rest of the lesson. Let's see, what else do we do today? We talked about the letter D, how to make the letter D, and then it makes the d sound. We talked about the number 3, and we counted things in groups of 3. We had our word of the day today, which was fasting. Remember, when you give something up so you can focus on praying and worshiping God. We also did the maze, where we helped the angel find Daniel in the lion's den. Do you remember that? Oh goodness, we've had a great day today. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson, because I sure enjoy telling them to you. Until next time, Jolly loves you.